Okay, so we're diving into Tainted Love this time. The soft cell version, the 80s synth pop one, super catchy, but man, those lyrics, you sent it over. And I gotta say, you seem to have a thing for messy relationships, huh?
Well, yeah, this one is definitely messy. I think even if you haven't gone through something exactly like that, we can all relate to that kind of intense, like raw emotion.
Oh yeah, totally. It's like right from the start, run away, get away. That feeling of being trapped, like claustrophobic almost, in a relationship, I mean.
Yeah.
What do you think it is about these situations that make it so hard to actually break free?
I think it's a lot of things, really. You mentioned in your notes that you were interested in the psychology of breakups, and this is a perfect example. I mean, a toxic relationship can actually, it can create a sort of dependence, especially if there's been any manipulation going on.
It's not just like a broken heart. It's more like they're hooked on this person, even though it hurts.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes I think it's the patterns we bring to our relationships. Like maybe we're drawn to a certain type of person even when they're not good for us, which, I mean, that's a whole other conversation.
Oh, for sure. And, it's crazy how the lyrics show this total flip. The speaker was running to their lover, and now they're running away.
Yeah.
That's a huge shift.
Yeah. It really makes you wonder what could have happened. Maybe there was some betrayal or like a slow loss of trust, or even just maybe they realized like one day it hit them. The love wasn't there anymore, at least, not from the other person.
Which brings us to the whole imbalance thing. You don't really want any more from me, and then you need someone to hold you tight. It just seems so one-sided.
Unfortunately, yeah. Relationships that are unbalanced, they're really common. Think about it. Have you ever felt like you were the one constantly giving more? Or just emotionally neglected, like your needs weren't important? That's a pretty big red flag. Oh, yeah, I get that. And it can be so subtle at first. But man, over time, it just wears you down. No wonder they feel so trapped.
Exactly. And it can do some real damage to your self-esteem, too. I mean, anxiety, even depression can stem from that kind of imbalance.
Hmm.
Recognizing the signs early on it's really important.
Totally. Okay, let's get to the core of this. Tainted love. Is love really something that can go bad? Like literally be spoiled?
Well, it's a really powerful metaphor, right? In the song, the speaker is giving everything. I mean,
Mhm.
everything, even like tears,
Hmm.
but it's not enough. And it makes you think about, the things in real life that can really taint love: dishonesty, infidelity, emotional abuse, and even having totally different values. That can make things feel off.
Yeah. There's that line, you think love is to pray, but I'm sorry, I don't pray that way. It's almost like they have totally opposite ideas about what love should be. Yeah, exactly. We all have our own love language, right?
Mhm.
Different ways that we express and, receive love. Like maybe one person shows love by doing things for the other, while the other person really needs like constant words of affirmation. And when those languages clash, it creates a ton of friction.
It's true.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Even with all this pain, they admit, I love you, though you hurt me so. How is that even possible? To love someone who's hurting you?
Yeah. It's messy, isn't it? Love isn't always logical, though. You can love someone very deeply and also acknowledge that, yeah, they're hurting you. And honestly, breaking free from that kind of bond, it's incredibly hard.
I bet. And then there's this weird back and forth. Don't touch me. But then later it's like, touch me, baby, tainted love. What's going on there?
I think it's desire mixed with some serious dysfunction. Physical intimacy can get really confusing when the love feels tainted. You know, it might feel good in the moment, but it can also be a way of trying to connect, even when the relationship, like the whole thing, is harmful.
So it's like this whole mix of pain, imbalance, mixed signals. It's like a train wreck in slow motion.
And that's what makes Tainted Love resonate with so many people. It really captures that darker side of love, where you're just caught in this web of all these conflicting emotions and you don't know which way to go.
Yeah, it's heavy. It makes you think. If love can get tainted like this, is there any way to cleanse it? Or are some relationships just, going to leave scars no matter what?
Yeah.
Something to think about for sure.